Hello class. In this video we're going to look at how to do the second floor and the roof in Axon based off the first floor that we set up in the last video. Pretty simple, most of the same steps. There's a few little tips and tricks that you will want to know along the way to pay attention to just to make sure it all works perfectly in the end. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click over this first floor Axon that I set up in the previous video and go to duplicate view, duplicate. Right, it's going to pull up a new view and it's going to say first floor Axon copy 1. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to just rename it to second floor Axon, which it'll become here in a second, and say OK here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, and this is one of the little things, you could do it now or later, but it definitely has to be done. I'm going to right click over this cube and go to orient view, just like I did last time, but this time I'm going to orient view to first floor Axon. So this is going to, when I duplicated the view, it doesn't give me the exact same perspective, or in this case Axon, as it did last time. By orienting view, I am now in the same Axon. All right, and it sort of set up all that stuff the same. So that's a really important step, to set it that way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my hidden line hidden geometry, select my crop box. And now here's the second small tip. What I want to do is I want to make sure this bottom of the box is equal to the top of that box for the second floor, and the top is essentially just sort of moved up. Right, so I want it to go like this, but in this case, I can't really get it exactly aligned. I mean, it's pretty close to align, but it's not exact. There is a way of getting it to be exact, and that's to take this lower arrows and move it up as high as it will go, and so I essentially have a flat plane. And now I can go and click on these arrows again and pull up, and we can see it's moved the box up so that this bottom plane here is exactly where it was on my first floor. Now in this case I've pulled up my top of the box too high, so I'm going to pull this back down. It might take me a little bit of work to sort of figure out exactly how to get this, but you know, it should be approximately halfway, approximately 4 feet off the floor, somewhere around here. That looks pretty good. So I'll turn off my hidden geometry just so I can get a clean view of how it works. All right. Now there is a few more things you might do with this. So for example, we can see in this case I've got some hidden geometry I really don't need, like this ground plane showing. So I'm going to right click on this. Also hide in view, hide elements, just to get rid of that, to make it cleaner. The other thing that you might want to do, I think my settings are already set, but I'm going to go to my sun settings for my second view, and we can see I want to make sure they're set to top right, and make sure might not be set up by default on your computer. You want to make sure your ground level view is not checked, as mine is. I'm just going to show you what happens if I apply it. We can see it's casting the shadow down here, and that's like on the first level because it's set up to level 1 here, but we don't want that shadow is on the first floor already, and that's good. That's fine to have that shadow on the first floor, but not on the second floor and roof. So that needs to be unchecked. That is one change you need to make with shadow settings, and just you can make sure you're set to realistic. We can do that when we do rendering, but I'll go ahead and do this now. And we've got a duplicate at our second floor, and if we just go and verify, we can sort of see here's the first floor, here's the second floor. They should be set up all nicely on top of each other. And then finally, you're going to need a roof too. Roof is the same basic steps. I'll redo it one more time, capturing all those details. I'll right click, duplicate view, duplicate. I will right click, duplicate view, and rename, call it roof Axon. The first thing I want to do is right click and orient view, and just to be safe, I'll just keep, in theory I should be able to orient to the second floor plan if I had it right, or just in case I made a mistake, I'll reorient to the first floor plan and do this. It'll go here, switch to the first floor plan. I have to do this. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. I do want to do the second floor plan because I need the crop box. So I'll go second floor plan. This is my mistake here. As we can see, it's going to shift it all up and do that, orient to the second floor plan. There we go. I'm going to turn on hidden geometry, select my box, take the lower arrows, move them to the top, take my top arrows, move them all the way up, make sure it captures everything. That's pretty easy to set. Hide the crop box, and I'll just make sure my shadows are on, and my sun settings is what I meant to click, is set to top right with no ground plane. And there we go. And so with that, I have my roof plan, my second floor, and my first floor. All the views should all sit on top of each other nicely, as we'll see once we render it, which will be in the next video, and then set it up in Photoshop, which will be videos after that.